Yeah, here we are. It's Friday again. Most of this week was finishing up my fupa from last week, which was the doors not fitting. The doors fit on now, and I removed that metal brace that I had in there. I still have to weld that up a bit right there where I burned through it, but I'll fix that later. And now it's getting close to being time for prime time, eh? So it's all looking pretty good. I took the hood off, and I've got it over on the bench over there. It needs some fixing on it. That'll be for next week. So this week was mostly wax on, wax off, sanding, sanding, sanding. And I got some more sanding to do right here before I can do anything else. I'll get that done. There was a little tiny dent right here that I fixed. And otherwise, so what else happened? Sanding, sanding, sanding. I think it was all that happened was sanding. I did put the wheels on it and made sure that when the wheels were down, the doors fit. Things like that. Anyhow, but you can stick around and see all that, see all what happened there. I'm back to where I was last week. Pretty close. See you in a week. Yeah, so here I am back at it. And I had advice from one of the viewers, and that I should put the wheels on it and check and make sure things are good before I carry on much further. So I'll do that. I'll put the wheels on, let it down on the ground. Although I did kind of, when I was putting it together, I put blocks underneath the axle and held it up on the axles whilst I was checking out the dimensions here. And then I put the lift back here on the axle part so that it wouldn't get sagged across. But better to be safe than sorry, so I'll put it on the wheels and just see what happens. Yeah, there we go. Have the wheels on it. So, excuse me. I'll go ahead. Now what I've done here is I've just made this so that it's just slightly snug. It's not doing anything except for just being snug. So when it goes down on the ground, if that comes loose, then it's sagged a bit. But I'll try the doors on it anyhow. Just want to know. Anyhow, here it comes down. We'll see what happens. Hasn't been on its wheels for quite a long time. There you go. It's on the wheels now. Looks good down there. And that did loosen a tiny bit there, but I don't think enough to make a difference. Yeah, and this one here, basically the same. So I'll put the doors on and make sure they close right, and then I'll carry on getting it welded up. If they work good, then I'll just make that snug and then carry on. Yeah, there's side number one on the ground, on the wheels, and that gap there is what it's going to be. It's actually, this gap here is good now. That gap there is all right. So, but when I did put it in originally, I had some washers up on the end there. So there is a little bit of sag to the car. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift it up again and then get it all welded together, and see if it sags less. But as for right now, I'm okay. The door works fine on this side. I'll check the other side, see how things are over there. It actually looks pretty good. I think I could be happy with that. Like the gap down here, good all the way along. Gap along there is good. Gap in here is just like it's more, I I get knowing the gap is pretty consistent all the way through there, so we're good all the way. That's a good fitting door. I can be happy with that. Yep, there we go. So yeah, there we are. We don't know if it's good management or good luck. Likely good luck. Anyhow, everything is good. This door fits. The other door, a little bit tighter than when I started. This one here fits a bit better now that it's down in the ground. So I'm happy with everything that gap here, that hasn't really changed. This is nice and level across there. Down here the gap is good. The bottom the gap is going to be okay when I finish up. And if I get over here around the lift, around this side here, this gap here is all okay all the way up. There's still that where it jumps up. I don't know why. How it is. And this gap here is good. It's a little bit, yeah, it's about the same on this side as it is on the other side. So it's good all the way around. So thanks to Sculpin number 74 for that bit of good advice. Because I would have been very disappointed if I had found out that all that work was for naught, right? Anyhow, good for now. It's like, where am I here? This is like that movie, the Karate Kid, you know, wax on, wax off. This is like doors on, doors off, doors on, doors off. So it's back to getting doors off, and I'll finish the welding. Then I'll carry on from there. Yeah, there, I'm going to just leave the doors on while I weld this stuff back into place down below here on both sides. And then at the end of it all, I might be happy. We'll just see how it goes. This side here is mostly all welded together. There's a little bit more work to do on it. So it's all pretty tight and solid. This side over here wasn't quite as tight and solid. Now, when I originally fitted the door, I had a piece of a washer in behind the front there that pushed it back a tiny bit, and this time I didn't have that. We'll just we'll carry on. Yeah, there, now that's level across there, and then I checked it on the back there too, although there's a crown on it, but it seems that it's level across the back, so I don't think there's any sort of a twist to the car, or not a serious twist. Might have, I'm pretty sure the damn thing is twisted a little bit, but that's level across there. And now I'm pretty confident that these lifts are level, because when I installed them, I was very careful about all that. And see, that's level across there. So as far as well, it's consistent anyhow, all the way from front to the back. So that's good. Oh yeah, there we are. So this side here is pretty well put back together. Some pretty ugly welding down there, but I'll cover that with seam filler. And then the door, like, it looks like the lip is there, but it has to come out a little bit. It's pushed in a little bit far, so that'll all come out okay in the wash. And this seam here is okay. That seam at the front, that's mostly okay. A little bit, it's like a little bit wider at the top than it is at the bottom. Nothing I can do about that, I don't think. Or if I try, I'd likely ruin something else back there, so I'll let it be. Now, the other side, that'll be for tomorrow. I'll get the other side put back together and make sure the doors still work. Yeah, here I am back at it, and time for a little bit of a cleanup in here before I carry on any further. This side here is pretty well put back together. Just have to do a bunch of body work on it now. And this side here is where I get to start today. back there and back there, and then all along the bottom here. I didn't really have to cut this out, but I guess it's cut out, so I'll have to put it back together. Yeah, that's the front half put back together. Now I have to weld up all the way along this seam here, and then put this piece back into it. Well, there's actually two pieces there that have to go into it. Anyway, I'll get it done. That part there was three in there. There was one underneath here, this part, and that part. And so that was a couple hours, maybe 2.5 hours to get that back together. Yeah, there now. See, that swings. Whoops. That swings. The weight's off the lift. Door opens. Door closes. And the gaps are okay. A little bit close here, but that's the way it is. There's no maybe is there any tension on this? No tension on that. So that's good. Doors open, doors close. Gap on the front is okay. So I'll carry on and I'll finish welding that stuff in. Then I'll look at the other side here, make sure it's okay. So the door is closed and the door opens. No tension on that. And the gaps will all come out. This one here is a little bit wide. So that's a bit wide on this side, a bit narrow on that side. Well, what the hell, eh? And then I'll get this figured out because it's gonna be like just the door's got a little bit of a twist to it, but we'll figure that out so it looks okay. And so I think I'll be happy with that now. Just have to go up and finish welding on this side over here. Finish the whatever you call that. All the stuff that I took apart here, like there's a seam here I have to weld. And then there's down below there I have to weld some. So I'll get that done. Yeah, there now. That's the passenger side put back together. Needs some more grinding and cleaning up, but the door fits all right, and I can be happy with that. Much better than it was the other day. So that only took me a day to get that all welded back into place. Now it's a matter of a little bit more grinding and some seam filling. I guess I got to do some more work along here. I'll take this door off, fix this edge up, and then do the seam filling. A little bit more welding on that edge. Anyway, that's it for today, and I'll come back and get some more done tomorrow. See you then. Yeah, there we go. It's on the ground now. There's kind of the stance it has, which is actually a nice stance. The front end sits a little bit lower and it's got a little bit of a rake to it there, which is good by me. Then if you sit on it and shake it, it shakes. So the doors, there's no tension on this thing, and the door closes nice. I've taken the latch off that side because well, for painting and for other surfaces. I'm going to take the latch off this side soon. I haven't done it yet. But it opens, and there's no tension on that. And it closes, so I'm happy with those doors. So I'm going to take back to the old the movie, doors on, doors off. I'm going to take the doors off and I'll finish up the cleanup work and see if I can get it all sort of put back together here. Yeah, now I've lifted it up and I put the lift on like normal positions for lifting, and the door still works the same. So happy with that. It's got there's lots of strength in the body now, I think, that it won't move. Well, a little bit of movement on this, but door works fine. Right on. So I'll carry on. Yeah, now that I've got it all put back together, I'll see if I can make it look better. Those ugly scars along there, that was so nice before. Oh well. Yeah, so there's the first coat of seam filler on there. Now I have to lift it up and do the underneath bit next, but I did that side and then I did this side here. So at the end of it all, it might look all right. Might not even, you won't even notice those seams. Well, that's what it's for, seam filler. Anyhow, what you do with this, I got this Evercoat metal to metal. So it's for putting on seams after you weld them and clean them up. And then you put on the normal body filler on top of that to make it smooth. So I just go ahead and I knock off all the high points with an electric sander, and then I put on some normal body putty and then sand it by hand later. So there we go, I'll carry on. Yeah, so the camera's been going in my pocket for a couple of hours here, for 48 minutes. Anyhow, while I'm waiting for stuff to dry out here, right? I might as well just, there's a drip that comes on that nut right there, that bolt right there, out of this, which is, I presume, part of the, what do you call that, oil pump. Now I do have new gaskets for it over there, so I have to take off, this is the slave cylinder for the clutch, so I just take that off and hang it over there. Take those 4 bolts out, pull that out of there perhaps, and see what's cooking. Yeah, here it is, the oil pump, right? Now, there's 2 O-rings, one here and one here. That's the one that was in it, and that's the one that was in it. That one there is pretty flat. And then it only comes with one new one. Maybe I'll use this one and the back side here, and I'll use that one there and take the flat one and let it go away. So now I'll also take out this, there's a pressure release valve in here of some sort that I'm pretty sure has an O-ring involved in it. Oh, that whole thing comes apart. Don't need to do that. And then I'll just stick it all back together and see what happens. Here's a shaft. Like there's just a shaft that this goes into some sort of gear. Whoops, I'm looking at the floor, right? This goes into some sort of a gear right there. Don't know what. But I guess I've got to go up higher than that to get it to hook. Anyway, that's all I know about that for now. I think that goes right up into the bottom of the distributor, yeah, I think that's where it goes. Distributor drives all that. Anyhow, I'll take it apart some more and I'll see what I come up with. Yeah, so there's an O-ring around this little seal. The seal for an O-ring goes in this part right here that holds that pressure relief stuff in there. Anyhow, so it's fairly brittle and I've got it out of there, but there doesn't seem to be a matching one in the lower gasket set. Wonder why. Oh well. So I'll have to go into town and see if I can find a suitable O-ring for it. That'll be tomorrow. So that's where it stops today. Anyway, I think that'll, if I get the proper O-rings and everything done right, it might solve a leak there. Anyway, that's all for today. I'll just let the car down and carry on tomorrow. See what happens.
Yeah, so you go out to Princess's Auto, and then these are the two that I really needed, that size and that size. And you come back with 100,000. That'll be a lifetime supply of O-rings there, I think. Anyhow, I use them fairly often, so, and I'm always looking for them. There you go.
There now, it's back in there. So I put in a new oil ring that came in the kit here. One that looks like that on the outside. And I left the original one in the inside here. There's one in the inside here. It's kind of a flat thing, and I tried putting a new O-ring in, but it interfered with the turning of the oil pump. So I put a little bit of that blue juice on it, that stuff here. What is it? That blue gasket maker stuff. Cleaned it off well, put it back together, and then I put a little bit of the blue juice stuff at the other end of it there too. Now last time when I took it out, these bolts here were over tight. I don't know, like whoever put it in last must have figured, well, leaking, you must tighten it more. But it's only rubber O-rings that are creating the seal there. So we'll see what happens, see if it leaks. In here, I think it was leaking in here from that O-ring that was in behind that thing. So I put a new cotter key in there. I had it sort of manufactured a bit because I didn't have any that were small enough. Because the old one, which has only been in there for 40 years or so, or 1980 to 2022, so 42 years, wore out. That happens. Anyhow, that was my, just fill in time while I was waiting for stuff to dry. So I'll put the clutch mechanism back together. And then next time I'll start it up, I'll make sure, I primed the oil pump. I primed it with put a couple ounces of oil in it in the bottom just so to make sure it had something to work with there. Anyway, there we go. Yeah, there now I just went at it with 40 grit paper and by hand just to knock the high bits off so that I can now get after it with normal Bondo. I guess I got to do a little bit more right there. But normal Bondo and make it smooth again, I hope. We'll see how it goes. It should come out all right. It should look okay in the end of it. We'll see. I'll get at it. Yeah, now, here we are. That's after one coat of the normal Bondo, whatever you call that stuff. Lightweight ever coat, eh? One coat there. And one coat there. Now I'll just let that dry before I knock off the high bits and then give it another coat to smooth it out a bit. Yeah, they're starting to look reasonably smooth there now, but I haven't done any sanding on it yet. So next thing to do is sand on it. That'll be, have to let it harden up pretty good to sand. This side here, a little bit rougher. I'll just take an edge to it and take those high points off before I get at sanding. Yeah, here I am. It's a late start today. I had to move a bunch of snow. It snowed this morning it snowed, right? And they said only a couple of inches, but it turned into about 5 inches. So, snow moving day. Anyway, there's something new on PEI, isn't it, right? So late starting here, I just got to do I have a bunch of sanding to do down here, and on the other side. And we'll see how that works out. So not much footage from that. It's pretty boring. Wax on, wax off. Yeah, now there's after a pile of sanding done. It actually feels pretty good. There's there's a dip in here that I have to fix. Along here is mostly all right. There's a little bit of a dip right there. I know that there's two little dips back here. One about there, one about there. Just sort of run your hand across it and feel it. It actually feels pretty good. Even the bottom feels all right. Then on this side here, which was very rough, it came out nice. A lot of sanding though. A little bit more body fill here. There's some pinhole stuff. Down here is pretty good. All along here is good. Got to fill a bit of a dip here. And a little bit of a lump there. Now I don't know what to do about that. I could fill up a whole bunch of body filler, but I don't think I will. I think I'll just let it be and see how it looks after I paint it. And then if it looks shitty, or if it looks poor, I'll do something about it. But there's places on the car where there's, you know, I'll call them barnacles for a better word, because it's not gonna, it's a 40-year-old car. And it's going to look pretty good when it's done, but it's not going to be perfect. But it'll look pretty good, and I'll be happy about it. So there we go. I think I'll go and I'll mix up another batch of stuff and just fill those bits in. There's a bunch of snow coming off the roof there. And then see what I can do. I got to get like I think a Dremel or something in here to clean this stuff up. Don't know what I can get in there to clean that stuff up. Yeah, there now. I created myself a bunch more sanding for tomorrow. Can't miss out on that sanding. But I think after tomorrow's sanding, it might be getting pretty close to prime time again. So what I'll do, this side here is kind of rough again. I'll see what I can do about getting that fixed up. But what I'll do is, I'll get this door. I bunged it up at the corner right there, so I'm gonna get it up on the table and see if I can fix it up some. And then tomorrow I'll worry about that stuff. Yeah, so I welded up on the other side, and this is the side that I repaired before I put that patch in here, and so it held up all right. I just was bashed on this from the other side and made a cruncho on it. So I'll turn it over and I'll show you what I did, and then I'll get that metal, that gray stuff out and fill it up. Yeah, and here's this side here of it. Now, I welded up in around here where it was crunchoed a bit, and then there was a bit of a crack here, so I ran it up along that crack, and that was a previous repair that I had done along here before. Goes out to here and down. So now, I think that looks all right. That'll be okay. I'll get some of that gray body filler and just fill that up. Yeah, there I've created myself some more sanding here too. Smart guy, hey? But that seems to be pretty good now, and the underside is all right. And what I had left over I put up in here to cover in this. I've got seal filler, what do you call that stuff? Seam filler on the inside. But there was a bunch of welding here, so I figured I'd just put some on here. Now next time I have it out, I'll put some on a couple of these welds over here. I'd have to do some grinding up there yet. And I did seam filler here on this part here that was underneath the body parts that I couldn't get from above. That one there is done from above. Those ones are all done from above, so it's all pretty good. Anyway, there we go. That's it for today. Kind of a short day, but there isn't really an awful lot of footage you get when you're wax on, wax off stuff, hey? Yeah, so I put the, what do you call this stuff? Body filler on it last night. A little bit of a dip here to fill and smooth it out a bit. And I'll put normal body, that's that metal to metal stuff on there. I'll put normal body filler on to make it smooth. Anyhow, now, whoops, the car's way up there. I got to do some sanding on it. Clean the floor a bit before I get to work. There we go. Lots of wax on, wax off. So pretty near ready for prime time. This actually looks pretty good along here. And this side here looks pretty good along there. That feels good. So I think that I gotta do the whole car in 300 grit, right? Then prime the damn thing. So I guess that's what I'll get to doing. Yeah, there I've got I went over it with the palm sander, 220 grit on it so far. It's actually feeling pretty nice and smooth. There's a couple of little bumps right there. There's one. Wonder what it feels like on the other side there. Yeah, it's got a bit of a high to it, but not that side there is bumpier. Wonder if I can fix that or not. Yeah, right there. Oops. Right in there. I'll think about that. Yeah, most of it looks and feels pretty good. I think it's pretty near ready for a coat of priming, and then I can, once the coat of prime is on there, then I can pick out anything that's needing work and do that. Yeah, here I am cleaning up stuff, and I noticed that, see at the bottom of this fender that's a replacement fender, it comes down here, whoops, like it comes down here like this and then down, and then there's a lip out here. On the other side, it goes in like that, same thing, but then there's no lip out down here. So that there, that looks about the same, pretty near the same as the other side, except that it is slightly different, this fender, than the original one. So, interesting. Anyway, so this thing here, I'll just let it be. I won't even think about worrying about it. And I'll see about getting some of this. I'm going to see about getting this cleaned out of here. There, I've cleaned most of the paint off of that using one of Sam's favorite things, a flapper disc, eh? Flapper discs have their spots where they work really well. Then I cleaned the paint out of in this interior bit here and along the top here, interior bit there, and then down this side here. So that's getting ready for, I'll give it a little bit of a sand with like different kind of paper. Anyhow, and then I took away the braces, and it's gone from both sides. There they are there. I'll save them for another, well, you never know what I'll do with that. That's good steel, right? We'll see what happens. Anyway, I think that's about it for today. It's, what day is it? Thursday today. Tomorrow's Friday. And it looks like on the weekend, over the weekend, I might be ready to give it a prime, give it the first coat of primer. So I'll go in tomorrow morning and pick up the doings I need for that. That'd be like I'll get a roll of plastic and put plastic all around in here so it doesn't get, so the whole place doesn't get primed. And then carry on from there. See what happens. Yeah, here I am. So yesterday I did seam filler stuff on the insides of all the, wait, turn on the light here. There, can you see that? All of the what is it, inner wheels stuff. I had neglected doing it before, so I got around to doing it. Now I got to sand that, and once that's sanded up, then I think I'm pretty near ready for a cleanup in here. Because I went to the store today and got some, whatever you call that stuff, I got some primer. So I got to think about how I'm going to do it. What I'm going to do, I think, I am going to take the engine bonnet off and put it, and then I have the trunk and I have the two doors. And I'm going to put the car up and then hang that stuff from the railings down here. Paint it up and then put it away for a little bit. Then I'll paint the rest of the car when I'm ready for that, which is pretty soon. Pretty soon ready to put primer on it. Yeah, so engine bonnet, right? 4 bolts. 1, 2. These are 10s. Over on that side there's a 10. Whoops. Over on that side there's a 10, and then there's 5/16. Then there's a Torx screw holding one of those things and a screwdriver screw holding the other one. So, see if we can get that apart. Yeah, so there's the hood off. Now it's a good thing I took it off. A little bit of tiny bit of surface rust right there, and little bits around this edges here. So I'll clean that all up and put a fresh coat of paint in the inside too. Make it look good. And the same thing, I'll take the wire brush to in here, clean that stuff up, make that look good, and then see if I can find proper screws for everything. That screw seems to work all right, so what the hell, eh? There's interesting stuff all over, but I'll clean that up and I'll put a coat of black right inside here just to make it a happy thing, right? One of these is long, one of these is short. I don't know why. Likely because it's not the right one. No, it isn't. Different type. Anyway, there's 4 screws that hold the hood down, and they're all different. Maybe this one. Well, no, it's a longer one there. Who knows, eh? Yeah, here we are. This is got the hood here now. And then this stuff here, that looks suspiciously like the same kind of glue that they had holding the carpet inside over there. So what I have done is I've taken an X-Acto knife and just cut along the edge of that and peeled it out where I can. Now think about what to do about this. I'll clean that up, I think, and I'll put some of that metal to metal stuff on it. Maybe that would be a good thing to do. We'll just think about it a bit. Yeah, there it is. It comes out, and it's got air bubbles in it anyhow too. I just take the X-Acto knife and clean it off on the edge here. Leave what's inside underneath, because I'm pretty sure it's supporting the roof all right. The other side of it. But I don't want to, there's no need for this stuff to be hanging out here. Anyhow, see what it's all about. I'll clean this stuff up and then have a think about it. Yeah, this stuff, it cleans up pretty good. There's a little bit of pitting there, but not too bad at all. Over here, this is the worst bit right here, and a bit of pitting around that. So I think what I'll do is I'll just put that rust paint on that stuff, black rust paint. Let that set with that, and it'll cover that up and stop anything else from happening. And then I'll paint it as if it's normal. Then I got a bunch of cleaning up here to do and put a bit of that rust paint on there. So that'll be a tomorrow job, because it's pretty near quitting time. And don't you know, it's another Friday. Well, here you go. So getting close to being a whole car here. The doors fit now. I've taken that stuff off there. So I'll see you next week.